back to another episode of the Red Circle. Obviously, I have my co-conspirator.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, you can be a co-conspirator.
That's what I am.
we have our grand conspiracy to win back America.
Yes.
And to hell with the devil, like
Amen.
Stryper says.
Amen.
We're gonna get into some of the actual like secret societies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I have in my hand a nice. That's not really crisp.
Not crisp.
It's like
Well
wadded
used.
up. I stole it from my daughter's piggy bank, and I felt really bad. I will put it back.
We'll put it back.
With interest.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason I have the dollar bill here is everybody's had a dollar bill in their hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or in their nose.
Oh, Lord.
Not me.
I was not expecting that.
That's what it's funny. The reason I think about it is because they say like there's a residue of cocaine on
every dollar bill. I've heard that. Yeah.
So I'm like touching it and I'm like, I gotta wash my hands. Okay, so the reason I have it here is there's stuff on the dollar bill that will give you clues as to part of the whole conspiracy in America.
Mm-hmm.
Not the world, but in America. So the front of the dollar bill, not really much going on here. You will notice that it says, a Federal Reserve note.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a U.S. Treasury note like what John F. Kennedy printed.
Okay.
That executive order that he printed, which probably got him killed.
Yeah.
He printed money outside of the Federal Reserve System. And you also notice it says note. It doesn't say dollar bill.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say, currency or whatever. It says a note. So what is a note?
Is it like an IOU? Is it like a...
Like you have a note on your house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? You don't have a note on... So it's funny, every dollar that's been created is debt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all debt. Now I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But on the back, you have these crazy symbols, right?
Mm-hmm.
On one side, you'll have a pyramid. And the pyramid has 13 different levels of bricks.
Okay.
Okay? They symbolize the different levels of a hierarchy.
Okay.
Also, 13 is like the evil number,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Judas,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even though Judas was in the 12, they had to get another apostle to replace Judas, which made 13. It's a bad number in the Bible. I don't know about numerology. You ever studied numerology?
I have an uncle that's like super into it.
Numerology is kind of crazy.
It is. And I follow this girl on TikTok who is Jewish, very religious, and is into numerology. So she'll do things with dates and all kinds of interesting stuff. So I follow it. I don't know it.
There's stuff in the Bible that is numerology.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll talk about the number of 3 is complete. It is not complete. I think it's
7
complete.
is completion, right?
Yeah, 7 is
Mm-hmm.
completion. 3 is like unity,
Mm-hmm.
perfection, I think is what it is.
Okay.
And then you have like 11s, you have 9s, you have
40.
40 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? There are 40 years in the desert. He fasted for 40 days and 40 nights.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's numbers in the Bible, 9 and 11 are some very significant numbers when it comes to the other side, right? 3 and 7 are really good numbers. 6 is the number of man.
Oh.
Okay. So that's why, like, in the Mark of the Beast,
666.
666
Yeah.
is the Mark of the Beast. Okay.
36.
But you'll notice a lot of numbers here. To the occult, numbers is like everything. Like 33, 32, all these kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
And the whole other interesting thing is Nikola Tesla and the 369.
Okay.
Nobody can really figure out why the sequence is what it is. The
Yeah.
same way with like the Fibonacci sequence.
Yes, it just is.
It just is.
Yeah.
It's God's divine math.
Yeah.
And like math is not something that we invented, it's something we discovered.
Yeah, we figured that out.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't understand it fully. There's mathematicians that work on this stuff their whole life and they never figure it out.
Yeah, totally.
on this, they call it the Great Seal, right?
Okay.
What the hell does a pyramid have to do with America?
Nothing.
We don't even have pyramids in America that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you have these pyramids. Okay, a couple things about the pyramids. We still can't make pyramids today the way that they made it. Because if you're off like 1 inch on the bottom, it won't peak perfectly.
Yes, yeah.
They're like perfectly aligned with the stars, like the ones in Egypt, right? They're like on the meridian flow. The bricks are like from like 30 tons or something, which we can't even carry. And then they're like perfectly aligned. They've lasted through earthquakes and stuff like this. Just to tell you a tidbit of what I think the pyramids are, the Egyptians that you know today, like the ones with Moses, I believe that they're squatters in Egypt.
Okay.
They're not the original people that built these pyramids.
Oh, okay.
They can't. They didn't have the technology. They didn't have the know-how. The people that did were the pre-Noamic people. And the crazy thing is that they do carbon testing, right?
Yes.
But how are you going to carbon test a rock?
You can't carbon test a rock.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can't carbon test.
No.
So they just got like food or whatever that was like vegetation in there, and they think, oh, well, that's how old it is. And no, that's not the way you...
They're older.
Yes.
They're much older than they say that they are.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of scientists that talk about that.
Yeah.
Geologists, geographers, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that talk about it, but that's like not the mainstream like thought. And so they're kind of shunned, which is crazy. That doesn't even make sense. A lot of times people think, and we're taught that pyramids are tombs. They are not tombs.
They don't ever find any bodies.
There's no sarcophagi, what's that? They don't have any of that in there. And a lot of conspiracy theorists think it was for energy generation. And with Tesla, that tower that he made, you have to have, I don't know exactly what it is, but you have to have a water source under the ground, some sort of like limestone or something under there as well. And then the pyramid, like the height, the everything, the capstone that they have on it, all of that will help generate or harness the energy in the earth. And then you can power things like Tesla powered a light bulb. That's amazing. And imagine, I mean, how huge the pyramids are, like what kind of things they could have been powering with those. It's bonkers.
They really think too that it had to do with sound. It was a connection with water, sound, and then being in the meridians. I watched a whole crazy one on it, and it was also the other one is like, you see these things. I'm gonna do a horrible drawing, but you like these archways, these huge archways.
Okay.
Right. Like that. Like this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
See those huge ones like going into France, going into all these places.
Yeah, New York has one.
They think that these were built before anything else was built, and that they're like resistors to this. Yeah.
Whoa.
I saw a crazy one. It was definitely a weird rabbit hole that I went down, and how a lot of old buildings and cities were ghost towns, and people just moved into them. That they weren't originally built by humans.
Oh my gosh.
Like not us humans, but like the pre-Noamic humans.
Yeah. Like which cities did they talk about?
A lot of really, really old cities, like Paris, France. Like, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. They're like, you look at the big doors. Yeah. And there's like nobody human would move into a door that big. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they're thinking like they're giant doors. Yeah. You know? Fascinating stuff.
Interesting.
You know? But I do believe that is there's something to it. So the way that I see the pyramid is I see it as when the angels came down and became gods amongst men, and men worshiped the fallen angels. They gave them technology. They created crazy offspring. Were huge giants, and they were also smarter because they were kind of mixed with angels, and the angels knew everything. So they had technology that we don't have today.
Totally.
And they had the, you know, this other DNA type that created, you know, the ability to do these things. So the most occults are built around this ancient society that was killed by God, trying to gain back the knowledge that they lost. That's all it really is. So if you think about Adam and Eve, the Luciferians believe that they saved Adam and Eve out of the garden, that the garden was a prison of types, and they freed them with knowledge, and then they gave them knowledge so that they could live on the earth happily with, you know, everything that their heart desires, right? So that's why you see a lot of this. It's not Egyptian, like they say. It's Egyptian. It's not Egyptian.
Yeah, and there's pyramids all over the world too.
Yeah, it's not Egyptian. It's just those. Yeah, like in Mexico and the other places.
And some of them even line up, like I have to look that up.
The meridians.
Yes, exactly. It's crazy. Yeah. And how do these peoples that don't even know each other
would never know?
How is this lining up?
They wouldn't have the technology back then. It's kind of like, it's as if we did go to the moon, right? And now we can't.
Yeah.
It seems kind of stupid.
Yeah, that makes sense. How did we lose that technology?
Because we never went. That's right. Mic drop.
Okay. That one hurts me. I want us to have been there.
Yeah. And then on the bottom, it says Novus Ordo Seclorum.
Okay.
Which is the New World Order, or the New Order of the Age.
Oh.
So it's right underneath the seal.
Okay.
These words right here, right? So that's what that means. If you look really close, there's Roman numerals on the bottom.
Okay.
On the pyramid. Those Roman numerals are 1776. Okay. And most people like that, that's the founding of our country.
Yeah.
But if you look it up, it's the founding of the Illuminati.
Oh.
Okay, so that's when the Illuminati was founded by Adam Weishaupt.
Okay.
So Adam Weishaupt, you can just Google it, it'll tell you. This is when they founded it. Okay, now you have this capstone. Okay, a couple things about the capstone. Most people believe the pyramid's capstone was either gold or silver or some other type of metal originally. And the tunnels were too small for people to fit inside of them, especially big giant people. So the theory that I kind of resonate with is that it was like a power source to connect different power, kind of like Nikola Tesla, where the power was just like in the air, right?
Yes, yeah.
And they could power anything, right? Or it could have been like a ritualistic place where they did rituals inside of it to gain power again, right? So there's 13 levels, right? And we'll go into it on another video about the different bloodlines of the Illuminati, right? If you turn to the other side, right, and you see there's the eagle, and it's got the arrows, and then it's got in the other hand the like a plant with all these leaves on it, right? There's 13 arrows. There's 13 leaves on the plant that they're holding. Each side of the wing has 13 and 13. There's 13 stripes on the flag, even though it's not the American flag. There's 13 stars inside of the, I guess, whatever that thing is above the eagle.
Okay.
And if you connect the stars, it makes a pentagram. Right? It makes this like the Star of David. Okay, so it's not the same.
Okay.
The Star of David, they call it the Star of David, but biblically there was no star.
Oh. Okay.
There is no Star of David. So people that wear the Star of David, they don't know what they're wearing.
A lot of times it's Jewish people.
Yeah, and they don't understand what it is. There's no Star of David biblically.
Wow.
They didn't have a star. They didn't have any of that stuff. You know, there's no proof of that it has
so
any connection to David.
Okay.
And you can see there's a lot of other things in here. I won't bore you with all of it.
With the 13, what does the 13 mean? Because I know 13 colonies, that's the first thing I think of. Is like, oh, the 13 original colonies. Do you know that song?
Yeah, Abigail was singing it the other day. And it's true, but there's the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati. There's it's an occultic number. And you just have to be careful with all that stuff. You just have to understand it. Like, if you're looking at this pyramid here, it's nothing to do with the American people.
Yeah.
Okay, so the capstone. The capstone is the all-seeing eye, right? We've all seen it before. We all see the celebrities doing this or this, right? And they're doing the OK symbol, which is 666. Stuff like that. That is the illuminated ones, right? And the maximum illuminated person is Lucifer. He's the all-knowing, all-seeing eye, right? It's kind of like the Santa Claus song.
Yeah. You know? He sees you when you're sleeping.
And it's funny because when you really think about it, everything is somewhat a falsehood of being God. The devil really wants to be God. He always wants to be like God. He wants to be worshipped like God. He wants people to think of him as God, but he is not God.
Yeah.
He can't see everything. He's not omnipresent.
Yeah.
He's not omnipotent. He's not all-knowing. He's not all-powerful. He had a beginning, and he will have an end.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these are things that God speaks about himself that Lucifer cannot say because he was created. But they worship him because he illuminates them with information. So it's very much like Adam in the Garden of Eden, where he was tempted, by Lucifer, by Satan, to become enlightened, knowing good and evil. He tempts him with knowledge that's unknown to him.
Yeah.
So, interesting thing about Adam Weishaupt. Adam Weishaupt was a Jesuit.
What's that?
So, a Jesuit is kind of like a intellectual Catholic.
Oh.
So you can go to Jesuit school.
Oh, wow. Are women allowed in Jesuit school?
I don't think so.
I feel like we're not.
Yeah, we don't play with you women in the Jesuits.
You're rude.
He went in 1755.
Okay.
And then he created the Illuminati, right, in 1776. One of the core principles of the Illuminati was to replace Christianity with reason. Okay?
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
Another really cool founding book is the book called Common Sense. Have you heard of the book Common Sense, right?
Yes.
Common Sense, everybody heard of that book? The guy that wrote that, Thomas Paine, is one of the most anti-Christian people you will ever read.
Wow.
Yeah. He was part of the originally founding of the Illuminati, Thomas Paine. Famous writer. Part of, founding father type people. Because he wrote that book, Common Sense, that kind of riled the people up, right? And it's kind of like a lot of the American founding fathers were kind of read a lot into the French Revolution, right? The Bolsheviks and stuff like that. So you see a lot of this where they didn't want to be a religious country because they saw the tyranny of the church and state. So they were very purposeful not to bring that stuff into the founding of the government, and then also not the founding of their different cults, right?
Okay.
The reason I like to bring up him is a lot of people talk about the Illuminati, right?
Yeah.
Like the Illuminati is kind of like one of those ones that's like the number one conspiracy theories. Like they'll Google something and then just put Illuminati, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So you think of any conspiracy and you just like, it's all
Illuminati,
connected to Illuminati, right? It's like the Doritos are a triangle, so they're Illuminati. Illuminati confirmed.
Yes,
right?
yes.
You seen that video?
I have. That's funny.
So funny. Yeah. Because it's true, you could turn anything into Illuminati. Okay. And really, if you search out the word just means illuminated. And illuminated means just like higher level of intelligence or understanding or intellect or enlightenment,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's what illuminated means. So you could be in my understanding, is you can be in any of the other secret societies and become illuminated.
Hmm.
Okay, hence to the top of the pyramid,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And so the capstone. The one thing that's interesting about the capstone, so the the King James Bible,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, he calls him the chief cornerstone,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Interesting thing is if you look up different translations of the Bible, it says capstone,
Oh.
which I don't like.
Okay.
Okay, because he's not the capstone, he's the cornerstone.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is built upon him. So if like you're building a building, the way you make it square is you get a really good solid cornerstone,
Mm-hmm.
and the church is built upon that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So he's not like hovering above
Yeah.
the church. He is
The foundation.
the foundation
Yeah.
of the church,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I don't know why they changed that wordage, but I don't like it. That's kind of like a rough overview of the Illuminati and how it got started,
Mm-hmm.
and why it's there and what the purpose of it is.
One question that I've had, because I grew up in the church,
Mm-hmm.
and I had been thinking about things and realizing things and trying to like understand. And one thing, why did God...
Why did he give them something to be tempted with?
No, because I know we have choice, but why did he not want us to know those things? Because like knowledge is awesome, and I understand him not wanting us to know about things, but why?
Mm-hmm.
And then as a parent, if I tell my kids no and be, like no because I want you to be safe, and then they do it anyways, and then they learn the hard way. Like I kind of see it as like God being our parent and him not wanting us to learn the hard way. But why did he not want us to have this knowledge?
Yeah, I don't know really, because I'm not God.
Yeah.
I can speculate. So it's kind of like you don't want to ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also want trust.
Mm-hmm.
So love and trust kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So if you don't trust me, you don't love me.
Mm.
Right? Like I don't think you can really love anybody without being able to trust them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what Adam's sin was also, his first sin really was treason. Like he really committed treason against the kingdom of God. But he did it because I think he lost trust, and he thought what God had told him was a lie.
Yeah, and he wanted to test it.
Mm-hmm. And he did test it.
Yeah.
He saw that Eve, nothing happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
Not until Adam ate did something happen.
Yeah.
And so he was faced with a irrefutable proof that what God had told him was a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And then he didn't know what to do with it. So it even said later in scripture, he says, now they are like us, knowing both good and evil.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the real answer of that is, did it work out?
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Now, in God, in all of his divine wisdom, knew, because he's outside of time, that this would happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And when he created man, he knew the end from the beginning.
Yeah.
That man would fall.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And he still said, so as God created everything, he would say, and it was good, and it was good, and it was good. But when he created Adam, he says, and it was very good.
Oh.
So God sees us differently than we see ourselves.
Yeah.
Angels sinned, right? A third of the angels fell.
Mm-hmm. Back
Back again to 33.
Yeah.
You see the third?
Mm-hmm.
33. Right? It all goes down to the fallen angels.
Mm.
Right? Because the third is 0.33.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And they have no redemption that we're aware of.
Mm-hmm.
They're done.
Yeah.
They're going to utter hell and, gnashing of teeth and fire and brimstone and,
Yeah. No second chances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be thrown in the pit of hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So pit of hell is kind of interesting. Is there's hell, and then there's the pit of hell,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not in the pit of hell yet.
Yeah.
They're in hell. And also, somehow Lucifer has ability to go to the earth and be around, right? You see it with Jesus. You saw it with Job. You see it with a lot of these different people, right? That the angels were buffeting, the angel that was trying to get to Elijah. And he was like fighting with them. So you're like, but aren't they all in hell? I don't know exactly where these things are. Like in Job, Lucifer was like in the courtroom of God, like trying to make deals.
Yeah. He's
like a sleazy car salesman.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know if that answers your question, but I would say that in my mind, nobody's gonna get to heaven or hell, and once they understand everything fully, feel like they got a raw deal. I think God is just, and it's overly just. He gave everybody a fair shake, no matter what trauma you had in your past, no matter somebody took advantage of you, sexually abused you, verbally abused you, took things, stole, all that stuff Jesus went through, right? He saw it all, and then when he took the sin of the world, he felt it all. Like my sin fell on him. The whole sin of my life already fell on Jesus.
Yeah.
When he was there, he took the sin of the world.
Yeah.
That's why, for whatever reason, if a man was able to live like Jesus once, it would only pay for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
The equivalent. Just the same way that the animal sacrifices were not enough to cover the sin. They had to do it all the time.
Yes. Yeah.
Constantly covering all the sin.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't a perpetual thing because it had to kill somebody that was eternal to eternally complete the sin ring.
Yes.
So feeble man,
yeah,
it wouldn't be equivalent.
Yeah, totally.
It's funny that that's somewhat of the original purpose behind everything. Is he tempts him he's like, you could be like God, knowing both good and evil.
Yeah.
And that's the sin, is to try and be like God. Because you are not God. I'm not God. I will never be God.
Yeah.
I can never reach that pinnacle of godhood.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
And then when you go into other occults, like Mormonism, the idea is that you can become an avatar.
Yes.
And then you can rank up to be like God. It's the same sin.
Jesus of your own planet.
It's the same sin.
That's a weird thought.
Yes, it's the same sin. So all of them are trying to, so Jesus said, he says, I am the way, the truth, and life. No man comes to the Father except by me.
Yes.
Everybody's trying to go up the mountain, either to get to the Father or to be above the Father. Right? But Jesus said, the only way to get there is by me. No one else can get there any other way. No amount of knowledge, like I'll tell you, the people that are listening and they're in the occult, no amount of killing babies, no amount of sacrifice, no amount of blood you drink, no amount of evil deeds that you do for these people that you're talking to, those will never save your soul. All of those contracts and all those agreements that you made with all of these other spiritual entities, when you die, they're going to come back and they're going to have a right to your soul and to your spirit.
Damn.
And they will forever have it. The same way that Adam gave it up with Satan in the garden is the same way that you're giving up it today. You can have a right back to your spirit and your soul, right? Like the Bible says, is what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul, right? You can get a lot of things by doing these things on this earth, right? But you cannot win your soul back. The only person that can win your soul back is Jesus, because he paid the price for your soul. So it's kind of like if you go to the judge and you're in court and you're guilty,
okay,
right? you have to pay an equivalent payment for the cost.
Yeah.
God had to stay just even though he paid your price. That's why he took it to such an extent to send his own son to live and not be sinful, to die for other people unjustly. And then at the end of the day, he was able to take the sin of the world to the grave with him. So he had to do it within the rules.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he had to do it. The best time that he could do it was at that time. I don't understand it. I don't understand the calculus of whatever it is, but he found it that way, and he's God, so that's the way I see it. But one day they're gonna come and take an account for all of the contracts. They're not doing these things for you for free. They're not gonna give you a nice house and a nice car and be able to put you on the top of Apple streaming and get movie deals and all this stuff that people sell their soul for, right? And they may not even know that they're doing it. And there's a lot of people that sign contracts and they don't know what they're signing. And that's the same thing a lot of these people do. Is they sell their soul and they may not even do it willingly. Like you can see those videos with like Cardi B, and she's like, I wish he would leave. I wish he would come out.
That was freaky to watch that. That was interesting.
And it's not just her, it's all of those people. All of those peoples, they make deals with stuff. Now, I'm not saying you can't be successful without it, but God's more interested. He's not as interested in your success as he is interested in your character and who you're becoming. The same way a father would, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm in my son, I would be more. If my son went and became like the most powerful attorney in New York, but he lost himself, right?
Yes.
I would be sad.
Yeah.
Right? I wouldn't want that to happen to my son. So it's the same way that God does it. He won't give you something unless it won't destroy you. And that's the thing, is that like Jesus would say, he's like, let the dead bury their own dead. Like things are so flippantly like that. Like that does not sound very warm and cuddly, Jesus. Or it's the blind leading the blind, right? Because they don't understand it, And it's funny that the people that are into these secret societies, they feel like they've got it figured out, and they don't. They don't. They have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
They don't know the war that's going on. Like, I'll give you an example. This is going to freak you out a little bit.
I'm excited.
I like being freaked out. Let's think of a dollar bill. Okay, so close your eyes. And I want you to say dollar bill in your head.
Okay.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, now open your eyes. Now, in your head, you said dollar bill.
Yeah.
And you heard dollar bill. Okay, who said it and who heard it?
Me?
Yeah, but you don't have ears inside your head.
Yeah.
And you don't have a mouth inside your head, or do you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you could even do it. Let me tell you this. Now, you see this, right? You see it, right? I'm going to look at it. All right, now, close your eyes. Now, I want you to picture the dollar bill that I was holding in my hand. Can you see it? Okay. Now, how can you see something in your head with a picture? Do you have eyes in your head?
No. Yeah.
So
it's weird.
let me take it a step further. And I'll tell you why I'm telling you all this weird stuff.
Okay.
You can remember things from your past and relive them in your memory. In a sense, time traveling. Right?
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can hear the voice of people saying things. in your head. How do you hear a voice in your own head? You know? And so the reason I say all that is like, we think we understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We don't understand that.
Yeah.
We can't comprehend how we can say something in our mind and hear it.
Yeah.
In our own voice. Right? The inner voice.
Mm-hmm.
Your real voice.
Mm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's your real voice.
Yeah.
Right? That's your real hearing and that's your real sight.
Mm. Dang. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The way I like to think about this body is kind of like in Men in Black, where there was a human body and then its head opened and there was like a little alien in there.
Yeah, driving it. Yeah. Hey.
You know? And he's like, all right, you know, like the little, I don't know what he said, but, you know.
So it's our soul.
Yeah, so like that's your soul.
That's like who we really are.
That's your mind, your will, your emotions,
mm-hmm.
right? And your mind is not necessarily just data like this computer
mm-hmm.
processing information. Your mind can have emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go back to a memory that's very sad and re-feel that emotion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So your body is just the machine, the mechanism that keeps you in this third dimension.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily you.
Mm-hmm.
You're in it,
mm-hmm.
but it's somewhat got you captured within it.
Yeah.
Especially because if you become saved,
yeah.
you know, you will live past this in a different life.
Yeah.
Right? And then he will give you a new body.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's gonna be a physical body?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be a glorified body.
And it'll be eternal?
Mm-hmm.
And we won't have to go to the bathroom?
Probably.
You think we would?
Yeah. I think Adam and Eve pooped.
Yeah. That's true.
If you're gonna eat.
Are we gonna eat? I would love to eat in heaven.
Heck yeah.
Could you imagine?
Heaven, we won't have it in heaven. We'll have it back on the earth.
Oh, okay. So after everything.
Yeah, then he's gonna make a new earth and then we'll get our glorified body.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think in heaven we'll be a spirit.
And then on the glorified earth, we're gonna be here forever.
Mm-hmm.
Forever freaks me out.
Yeah, but I think there's gonna be something to do.
That's what freaks me out about
There'll be goals. Like it's not gonna be like continually praying and praising. Like,
yeah, like what are we doing?
Yeah. And you're like after like 5 minutes you're like
I love me some worship,
and I was
but
like, bro, how long you been here? Just 25 years. Like, you know,
yeah.
He's like, man, I don't know who's in hell. Is it me or not? You know?
Yeah.
No, that's not how it's
like,
gonna be.
Forever freaks me out.
That's not how it's gonna be. It's gonna be better than we could even imagine. Like that's what the Bible says.
Yes.
So there's got to be. I don't think it's going to be just easy.
Mm-hmm.
Because easy is not good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when God created Adam, he put him to work.
Yeah.
He said, now go name all these things and take dominion and repopulate the earth, right? He gave him something to do.
Yeah.
He wasn't just like, hey, go lay down there and I'll get, the chimpanzee to give you grapes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, you just sit here and talk to me. Like, no. There's going to be stuff to do, things to be had, children, grandchildren, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's going to bring it back to what he originally designed it to do. But now we've already been tested and we are now justified in our relationship with him, and we can have a complete communion with him and also do something great. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. I don't know exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be fantastical.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. I think our brains can't comprehend it yet.
No, we won't. There's no way we. Like if the angels can make pyramids and stuff like that, imagine what God can do.
Oh gosh. I mean, the universe, everything.
Like just think about the human body. No angel ever made a human body.
No. It's
not
amazing.
like the way that we do, right? Like all the technology that we have, like this phone. If I crack this phone, it's not gonna replicate itself and make a new phone.
It's not gonna heal itself, regenerate.
No, I can't like put this phone and then take your phone and then put them together and then it make a new phone.
A baby green phone.
Yeah, a baby
green iPhone.
It'll be like, hello.
And then grow up to be
like a really good, like iPhone 5, right?
Yeah.
iPhone 15, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not how it works.
No.
Nothing, we don't, that's why the ancient religions always worship the phallic symbol. So like if you see in Washington, D.C., there's the huge Washington Monument.
Yeah.
It's a representation of a penis. That's what it is.
But why?
Because it's the thing that gives life.
Okay.
It's the thing that replicates, right?
Yeah.
It's the thing that replicates. And on the bottom of the Washington Monument, there's a chamber. Did you know that?
Can you go into it? I'm sure people aren't allowed, but
me and you can. But if you're in the secret society, you can.
And they do stuff in there.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that's the woman.
Oh.
Underneath it is the woman, right? And that's where the womb is.
Okay.
So this kind of speaks to male and female. Everything in the occultism has to come from this male and female energy. That's why they have orgies, and that's why they kill offspring, and it's all about the creation and the manipulation of creation. Okay?
That's crazy.
And it's because they can get the energies. They want to get the energy and then take it to themselves. The Bible talks like about blood, that it has the life in it. The male's energy is to give, and the female's energy is to multiply.
Okay.
So if I give my wife a seed, she gives me back a baby.
Yeah.
And this will help you boys out there. Right? If I give my wife problems, she's going to give me back hell. Right? If I give my wife a house, she'll give me back a home. Right? If I give my wife some money, she'll come back with Target bags.
Yes. We love Target.
I hate that stuff.
I know.
So, but I'm just saying that women are incubators, but they don't produce life. They incubate it and multiply it. So men give, women take, and then multiply, and then give it back. That's the nature of the relationship. If the guy doesn't give, she cannot multiply.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why if you meet women that are in the elderly age and are alone with no kids, they're the most unsatisfied women you'll meet. Now they can do other things. It's not the end of their life. It's not, but it's tragic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I think there would be a time in their life where if they were given a chance to take something or go to a doctor and fix it, they would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even just give them the choice. Right? I don't think any of them would not want the choice.
Totally. Yeah.
It's just part of who we are, right? It's like a guy that is unable to give life, right? He's unable to do it. That's why the sin is in man. It's not in women. Because women take what's been given and then multiply it. So that's why Mary was able to get pregnant and Jesus had no sin. Because it wasn't in her. She didn't get the life. She was given the life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and it's the same in every aspect of that relationship. And most women and men don't understand the difference. Women want to be masculine and try and give life in everything, right? To control, dominate, produce, rather than just multiply. The best relationships I've ever seen is where they somehow fell into that dynamic where they're the one guy was giving direction and organization and everything, and then she was taking it and multiplying it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dynamic that works.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying you can't have a job. I'm not saying you can't do this thing. Like, read Proverbs 31. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but I'm saying that you have to take it, multiply it, and then give it back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I can bring some wheat and some sugar and some flour and whatever, and then my wife comes and she makes all this stuff. Now, I'm saying guys can't cook.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah, totally.
Women multiply. And it's not just the good, it's also the bad.
Mm-hmm.
If your woman's walking around all pissed off, what have you been giving her?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And if she's walking around humming and sweeping, maybe you've been giving it to her. In more ways than one.
Oh my.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it goes back to that Scarface quote, the theologian Scarface.
Oh gosh.
Tony Montana. Right?
Tell us what he said.
So he's dancing with what's her name? Pfeiffer?
Oh yeah. Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer, right? And he's dancing all stupid, right? He looks so dumb when he's dancing. He says something to the effect like, why are you so upset, or why are you so unhappy? You have everything. You have a good life, you got a nice car, you got all these things. And he's like, and it looks like you haven't been in a year. Right? This is what he tells her, right? To her face on the dance floor as he's like going like this, right? And she looks at him like, I think she slaps him, right? And he's like, now we're talking. And he says something like that, right?
Oh my God.
He's like, that I like, or something like that. She's like, you're a pig. And that's when she starts liking him.
Oh.
Right? In that movie. You know, because he called her out on her BS.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of women that are walking around like they have been in a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like funny. Okay, so we got a little more time left. I have a funny question I saw on a Facebook post, because I'm only really on Facebook.
Yeah.
So this girl asked this group of people. She's this TikTok chick. I don't know. I'm not on TikTok.
Okay.
And she says, would you rather be with a girl, her body count was like 70,
Mm-hmm.
or would you rather be with a woman, everything else being equal, that had children?
Okay.
And man, the conversation was fascinating. So,
yeah. What did people say?
Well, I want to know what you think first before I go into it. I want to hear your.
Okay, so body count 70 or has kids, and I'm a dude.
Maybe she has a body count, the one with kids like 5 or 6 or something.
Okay.
So she's got some body count, but she's not a hoe.
Yeah.
Like a super hoe. The other 70 is like a super hoe. It's like next level hoe. I don't know, 70? Gee whiz, that's terrifying.
Why is it terrifying?
70?
Yeah.
God, she's been everywhere. So you think about disease.
Yeah, that's the first thing I think about.
B, you think like something's wrong with her.
Yeah.
C, she's probably done a bunch of abortions.
Oh shit.
Right? You have 70, you probably.
Yeah.
You're
not being super safe, probably. Yeah, that's a good point. I'd probably go with the woman that has kids, but I'd still want kids, so she better, not better, but I'd hope that she'd still want kids.
And that's, I think, everybody's first reaction. And then one of the guys, he says he would take the one with the higher body count, and then he went into this whole rant. And it was fascinating. So he said, A, because the woman gave up her best to somebody else when she gave kids. Right? Like, even though the other girls slept with other people, but they didn't give up their best.
Yeah.
You know, raising kids, all that stuff.
I wouldn't want to raise somebody else's kids.
And that's what he was saying too.
That's a lot of baggage.
Like, if you had kids with somebody else, you got to take care of it. And the kids are going to be disrespectful. You're not going to have any authority in the house when you're raising these kids. Like, if you want to have kids, now you're going to have 4 kids. So now you get a bigger house.
Yeah.
Bigger car.
Yeah.
More food. The responsibility on that side is high. Right? and then you're in this house and you're not the alpha or the person in charge.
Yeah.
Because you kind of have this imbalance.
Yeah.
In the hierarchy structure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think women realize how men look at these things.
Mm-hmm.
So, body count is huge. Don't get me wrong. It's terrifyingly huge. Like 70 girls, like no, like.
I just have so many friends that have high body counts.
It's disgusting.
That I'm just like, well,
like
I feel like nowadays the body count's high.
So high.
Yeah, because people start young,
Yes.
and then they go through a whole phase in college. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you, say there's let's say they're 40 years old.
Okay.
They get started when they're 16, 17, right?
Yeah.
That's probably when most people,
Yeah.
And let's say they're 35 years old.
Okay.
What would you say the average body count is?
Average? Okay.
And they're single still, so not married people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't count,
The average female body count, I would say 15.
Yeah, that's high.
Like,
they would admit it. They wouldn't admit
well, with
it.
their girlfriends, they would.
Oh, they would?
Yeah. We talk about this thing.
Okay. So what is that? It's like one a year or something?
Yeah.
You think that's average? I think it's probably more. Probably 2 a year.
Well, like, see, I'm thinking about specific people.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends that every time they go out, their body count raises.
Wow, so they might have like 6 or 7 a year?
Yeah, well,
maybe more.
Well, like, they're going out every weekend. Sometimes it's the same guy,
okay.
but sometimes it isn't,
Oh, okay. So it's like they're dating around.
Yeah.
But they're like loosey.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and then I have friends that are monogamous. They get in a serious relationship. It lasts for 1 to 2 years, and then they move on to the next. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think there's a girl out there with a body count of like 70?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I know one.
Really?
Yeah.
You got the picture in your mind?
Yeah, like I know I've been out with her before, and I'm like, girl, I gotta go home. Like, this is a lot.
Gee whiz, that's...
And like every breakup, there's, a hoe phase attached with that, and college was a hoe phase, and
yeah.
no judgment, it's just what it is,
Gosh, there should be judgment. Somebody should have some judgment.
No, I mean, but what you're saying too with that, like there are abortions involved in this hoe phases.
Mm-hmm.
There have been diseases involved with this. Lots of bad choices.
A lot of penicillin.
Lots of sadness. Lots of regret.
It doesn't fulfill.
No.
It's hard.
Lots of like questions, like what did I do? What did I do last night? Who did I do last night? Where am I? Like, it's not good, but it is, like, it's out there.
I would say that also the women don't realize that they're lowering their value.
Yeah.
For their future mate.
Yeah.
So, if let's go back to this question. So the girl with children, a girl with 70 body count, and then a girl with 5 body count.
Yeah.
No children, not 70 body count.
Yeah.
This lady's values gotta be like 3 points higher.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
3 points higher.
Lower body count, no kids. Yeah.
Because the woman is not, at least in my mind, she might be lying about it. She's not going out there hoeing around because she wants to hoe around. She's out there going around because she's trying to find a dude that will take her and accept her, because guys are the ones in charge of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You're the girls are the gateway to sex.
Mm-hmm.
Guys
We're the ones that say yes or no for that.
Yeah, guys are the gateways to marriage.
Yeah.
That's why they're always like, he doesn't ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you bitch at him all the time.
Oh my god.
So, that being said, guys will sleep with whatever.
Yeah.
Almost, like, especially if he's been drinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he'll wake up in the morning like,
ooh, what have I done?
better get out of here for anybody who sees that I did this, right?
What about a body count for a dude though? It is different, but why is it different?
It's better.
When a guy has a higher body count?
Mm-hmm.
But not for me. I wanted a low body count man.
Yeah, well, because I'm not talking about like it's a conscious decision as much as it is so let me give you an example. So say the guy at school that was really popular and he's been with a lot of girls. So it's social proof that he is valuable.
Proof that he knows what he's doing.
That he's valuable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not about sex. For women, it's not about sex. Sex is there.
Yeah.
But it's not really about sex. It's about getting something that's expensive, that's more valuable.
That everybody wants?
Yeah, it's the hierarchy. So girls are wanting to go up the hierarchy.
Yeah.
To gain status.
Yeah.
And to gain value.
Oh, damn.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So the guy that can get a lot of girls is so rare.
Yeah.
He's so rare and special that girls gravitate to him.
Yeah.
That's why it always happens.
Okay.
And it's somewhat of the what they call it, the Matthew principle. So it's the 80-20 and the 80-20 and the 80-20. So most guys never get laid.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And if they do, it's super rare.
Yeah.
And then the girl's like, no. Like, she's like, it was an accident, I was drunk. Right? And she won't call him back or whatever, right? She was like depressed. And the guy was like all in love already.
Oh.
You know, most guys are celibate. Celibacy has gone up in our day and age.
It has.
Because these guys are not able to get girls because the girls are now on Instagram. And then they can go up the social hierarchy to all these different guys and get DMs from some guy in France or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he'll fly her down to Paris. And what is the kid freshman in high school in college driving a Taurus going to be able to compete with that guy?
Yeah.
He can't.
Yeah.
And the women are stupid because they'll go to Paris, bang this rich dude. And the rich dude's done with you.
Goodbye. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he ain't gonna marry you. And if he does, you know, it might be, you know, like a guy that level of social hierarchy. He can pick anything. He can go up and down the whole social hierarchy.
Yeah.
Right? The Jeff Bezos of the world, right?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Girls can get on the boat just by being pretty.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos has to buy the boat and build the business. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
To get the girls on the boat.
Yes.
He can't just get on somebody else's boat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And be like,
hey guys, I'm here.
You know what I mean? No. You know, back to Tony Montana. First you have to get the money, then you got to get the power, and then you get the woman.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
Okay.
To go up the social hierarchy of the women, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Women look for social proof, right? If you talk about body count.
Yeah.
But that's not the number one reason they go for guys. Because, like, let's say, for instance, me, Jake, Charlie, right? Maybe Peter. Good quality guys.
Yes.
We're sitting at a restaurant. We're all single. All the age that we are right now. And a bunch of girls come in, they sit with us, right? And the guys are trying to find out who's going to go with which, right? And you have the different levels of the girls, right? And so everything gets paired out.
Okay.
And then in walks Mark Zuckerberg, and he sits down at our table. He's going to socially get any of the girls over all of us guy, even though he's not physical, like we could all beat him up.
He's so gross.
Right? He's weird. He's probably possessed by demons.
Oh God.
But because of his financial ability to give women what they want, right?
He's gonna walk out of there with someone.
He's gonna walk out there with any girl he wants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Percentage wise, all being equal, no guy in probably El Paso will be able to compete with this guy.
Ugh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And it's not going to be because he's muscular
No.
or he can bench this much weight.
Or even he's good looking because he
Yeah.
is creepy looking.
Yeah. You
So
know,
rude,
so-
but he is.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
And guys know it and we're fine with it.
Yeah.
You know, we're fine with trying to work our way up the social hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, maybe if it's Mark Zuckerberg and Joe Rogan, maybe Joe Rogan get the girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd go for Rogan more than I'd go for
You
Zuckerberg.
know what I'm saying?
I
Because-
wouldn't end up with Zuckerberg. He's
Because there's a
gross.
certain amount of financial money that it doesn't make much of a difference.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Totally.
Like if you're worth, $100 million and the other guy's worth $2 billion, like it's like,
Yeah.
how much caviar can you eat?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally. Mhm.
How many yachts can you be on? You know what I mean? Yours is 10 feet longer than mine. Okay, who cares?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter, how many helicopters do you need? What private jet do you need? You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
if you're worth $100 million, like you're in that elite of elite
Yeah.
group.
Totally.
Now I'm sure there's a difference,
Yeah.
but to some girl off the street, she's not gonna know the difference.
Yeah.
So then the other things that are gonna come into play. What's his personality like?
Mhm.
How
What does he
good
look like?
looking
Yes.
is he? Is he nice to me?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. But the financial side supersedes all of it.
Yeah. That's true.
All right. Well, that's it for today, guys. We will see you on the next one.
Yes.
Please like and subscribe. Share this with your sucia friends, the ones that got a high body count.
Yep. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.